Hello friends, my name is Vishal. Today I am going to make a detailed video of this lesson 1 of biology, the leaf, for class 6th. First let's have a look at the syllabus or the contents that are going to be covered in this lesson. I'm sure you can clearly see here external structure, that is the part of a leaf in detail. Then kinds of leaves, simple and compound. Types of venations, reticulate and parallel. Function of leaf, the main functions. Then we'll further look into the modifications of leaves, and we will look at tendril, spines and scale leaf. Insectivorous plants, need for modification with an example. Vegetative propagation in leaves, example Bryophyllum. So the objective of this video is that we will go word to word of this chapter and you will be given the necessary explanations. So this is a complete detailed video of the leaf from the book that we are following this year. So let's go through the text for you right now. You see a variety of small and large flowering plants in your surroundings, such as tulsi, rose, mango, neem, peepal, etc. So it is very common for us to have a look around and we see so many different trees and plants around us. Now they have variation in height, shape of leaves, color of flowers, etc. Yes, this is also a common fact. We have seen that every tree and every plant has its own variation. It's different from the other in its way how we see it. Sometimes their height is different, sometimes the leaves are different, the shape, the color of flowers are different. So every plant has its own distinct uniqueness, so they are different from each other, and we have been able to easily see the variation between different plants. Despite these variations, they have distinct structural similarities. All flowering plants have roots, stems, leaves, and they bear flowers. So, even though we may see so many differences in the plants, we may still find that the overall structure has similarities. For example, we may be able to find roots in many plants. We may be able to find stem in many plants. We may also be able to find leaves in many plants and also flowers in many plants. There may be a difference in the type of root, type of stem, type of leaves and type of flowers, but eventually most of the plants have these parts that we can easily see. So when we see the parts of a plant, we can very easily divide the plant into two parts, the root system and the shoot system. The root system is that part of the plant that grows below the soil, that is not visible to the eye, and the shoot system is that part of the plant that grows above the soil and it is visible to us. The root system. The underground part of the plant is called root. Its main characteristics are: number 1, it grows downward into the soil, always from the sunlight towards the force of gravity. So we know that the roots grow downwards towards the ground. So the roots grow downwards. That is the main thing that we understand from here. And we also know that the roots will always grow away from the sunlight. So sunlight comes from top, and opposite from top we can say downwards. So the roots grow downwards. Then we will leave the activity for now. We will address it later. Let's come to the next part of the text here. So while having a look here at this particular page, we find that the root has one main thick primary root with many side branches. The end part of the root branches bear fine hair-like projections known as or called root hair. So, as you see this particular root, there will be one main primary root. It will be thicker and more distinct than others. One particular root you can find here, much thicker and much more distinct, and we call it primary root. Then there will be certain secondary roots, roots that are branching out from here, or side branches we can say. And further these branches again branch into very thin hair-like structures which we call as root hair. The primary root with all its branches and the root hair are called as root system. So this entire primary root with its branches and the root hair, this entire part of the plant is known as root system. I hope it is clear. We further have a look into this particular text here, and we find they are telling us about the types of root systems. So this seems to be quite interesting. The root systems are of two types. Okay, and now when we have a look at these two types, one is tap root system, and the second is fibrous root system. So tap root system and fibrous root system are the two types of root systems that are seen in plants. First, let's have a look at what is tap root system. The tap root system has a thick main root called primary root and bears many side branches known as secondary root. Such a root system is found in plants such as gram, pea, etc., and these are found in dicot plants. Dicot plants, that is tap root system, is found in dicot plants. Dicot plants are that when the seed of these plants germinate, there will be two cotyledons that will be forming the very first leaves for that particular plant. So it is known as dicot. Two cotyledons found there. Dicot plant. So taproot is found in dicot plant. And why we call it taproot? Because in this we find that we can easily find a main root which is much thicker than the others, and it is known as the primary root, and then the ones that are branching out are known as secondary root. And let's have a look at this taproot here clearly in this figure here. I hope the figure is clear. You can very easily find out that in this particular root system, this root here is very thick and distinct. It is very thick and distinct compared to the other roots. So this will be your primary root here, and then the branches that are coming out of it, which are much thinner compared to the primary one, these branches are known as secondary root. And this taproot system is found in dicot plants. I hope it's clear. So we can now move forward to the next one. The next or the second type of root system is known as the fibrous root system. The fibrous root system. The fibrous root system has a cluster of roots of the same thickness and size arising from the base of the stem. This type of root system is found in plants such as maize, grass, etc. Actually, they are very commonly found in monocot plants. Monocot means single cotyledon. Okay, so fibrous root, if we have a look at one example here, the figure is given very clearly. Now in this root system of fibrous root, we are not able to see any dominant root, any root that is thicker than the other. Very difficult. Just we were able to see in the taproot one thick one here. We could see one thick one here, but here we cannot see any thick one. There is no thick one here. So it is just a bunch of roots, mostly of the same size and of the same shape. There is no root that can be called as a main or a primary root here, and they are all stemming from, or they are all coming out from the stem, base of the stem. Therefore we call it as fibrous root, and these fibrous roots are found in monocot system or monocot plants. I hope it is extremely clear by now that there were two types of root systems. Taproot, where there is a clear distinction between a primary root and a secondary root. It is found on dicot plants. Fibrous roots are the system is the second type, where there is no clear distinction, because most of the roots, they are in the form of a cluster of roots that come out. They are mostly of the same thickness and same size. We cannot find any distinction there between the roots types, so we call them as fibrous roots, and they are found in monocot plants. Examples are maize and grass. I hope it is clear. Good? Interesting? For me it was, certainly. Let's have a look and see functions of the root. Now functions of the root, I'm sure you will be able to find out even more functions that are given out here, but then let's have a look and see what are the three functions that they are giving us for the root system. First one, fixes the plant in the soil. Great. As we see, the plants grow upright in the soil, most of them, and we find them that it is possible only because the roots that grow in the soil are able to fix them or hold the plants in place. So fixing the plant in the soil, that is one good function that we can come to know about. The second one that we will look at is absorbs water and minerals from the soil for the growth of the entire plant. So as we know that the plant needs nutrition, minerals and water that are present in the soil, and the root in the soil absorbs the water and the mineral, also known as sap, that is absorbed, and then it goes to the various parts of the plant so that the plant can produce their food and be healthy. Okay, so this is one good task that the root does. And the third one we find here, binds the soil together so that it does not get washed away during rain or blown away by the wind. So we know that a barren land where there is no plants or no grass on that land, it will be easy for soil to get eroded when there is a wind or there is a strong current of water flowing. So, but if that particular land is having a lot of grass on it, it has trees in it, so what happens, the grass and the tree, they have their roots that are grown into the soil, and they hold the soil, and even when there is a lot of current of water or there is a very strong wind, the soil will not be eroded, the soil will be held firm by these roots, and because the soil will remain there, it will also be available for the growth of the plants. Okay, so these are three functions that are given there. If you could figure out more functions, because there are a few more functions there, I leave that for you to figure out. Wish you all the best for that. Okay, now we go to the shoot system. So the shoot system deals with that part or the part of the plant which grows above the soil. and this forms the shoot system. So the part of plant which grows above the soil forms the shoot system, which is made up of stem, buds, leaves, flowers and fruits. I hope it is extremely clear. Leaves, flowers, fruits, stem and bud. So these make the shoot system. Let's have a look at the stem. Stem is the main aerial part of the shoot system. The points on the stem from where the leaves and branches originate are known as nodes. So what are nodes? Nodes are those places found on the stem from where the branches or the leaves will come out. The branches or the leaves will come out. So those parts of the stem are known as nodes. Nodes are the places from where the leaves and the branches originate on a stem. The part of the stem between two successive nodes is called an internode. So that part of the stem which is found between two nodes is known as internode. So for example, in this particular stem, if this is a node and this is a node, then between these two nodes the part of the stem will be known as internode. Okay, inter means in between, so between two nodes, internode. I hope it is clear. The tip of the shoot has buds. So the tip of the shoot has buds called apical buds or terminal buds. So you know, apical means the apex, the top end. Okay, so the very upper tip of the shoot, the very upper tip of the shoot will have apical or apical, as you want to say, buds. These are responsible for the vertical growth of the stem. So as we know, the stem will be growing towards the sky, which we can also call as vertical, means growing up towards the sky. So that growth is possible because at the tip there is this bud known as the terminal bud or the apical or the apical bud, and this bud helps in the growth of the height of the plant. Okay, now the angle between the upper side of a leaf and the stem is known as axil. Alright, so we will try to understand what is an axil. Have a look at this diagram here. This is the stem, this is the leaf, and here the angle between the stem and the leaf, this will be known as the axil. Clear? This is the stem, this is the leaf, and the angle between the stem and the leaf is known as, which we studied right here, is known as the axil. Alright, now the buds that are found in the axil are known as axillary buds. The buds that are found in the axil are known as axillary buds, and these will produce new leaves and branches. So here we can see this again very clearly. The axil has a bud, and that bud is known as the axillary bud, and it is from this axillary bud that the leaves and new branches originate or are produced. That's good. Lovely. So we understood about few buds here. We came to know about terminal bud, we came to know about axillary bud. Very nice. It's very interesting actually. Now that we are studying about the stem, it is also good to have a look at the functions of the stem. Alright, so let's have a look at the functions of the stem. Number 1, the stem bears all the aerial parts of the plant, like the buds, the leaves, the flowers, the fruits, the branches. So the stem provides support for all of these to grow on it. The buds, the leaves, the flowers and the fruits. That's good. Then stem helps in the upward movement of water and minerals that are absorbed by the root. So the stem helps in the upward movement of water and minerals that are absorbed by the root, and are transporting, and then they transport these to the leaves, flowers and fruits. Okay, so it also helps in the transportation. From the root it transports the minerals and the water to the leaves, to the flowers and to the fruits. That's a good one. Then third point here. The food prepared by the leaves is conducted downwards to the roots and other non-green plants by the stems. So other non-green plant parts of the stem are provided with food that is prepared in the leaves, because the conduction or the transport of the food from the leaves is again done by the stem to all the non-green parts as well. So the stem not only helps in transporting the water and the minerals from the root to the rest of the plant, but it also helps in the transport of food from the leaves to the rest of the plant. Okay, good. Then stem also manufactures food when green and young. So when the stem is green and young, at that time it will also be able to help in the preparation of food by the process of, any guesses which process? I guess you guessed it right, it is photosynthesis. So when the stem is green, it may also, through the process of photosynthesis, manufacture food. Great. So with that we have done till the stem. Alright, so this is my first video, and now in the next video we will be dealing with the leaf. I hope you liked this video. So God bless you. Please go through it and don't forget to see my next video, which is on the leaf. Thank you.